Hey guys, it's Sarah. I am back and I have a special guest with me. Yes, I had my little girl and I know I've been away and I feel really bad and slack, and there is just no excuse for my absence except for having a baby. I think that's good enough, maybe. So introducing my little daughter, Aria Sage. Aria, I first got, I think, from an actress's daughter, but it was like Ariella, and then I just shortened it, and then obviously there's Aria from Pretty Little Liars, but yeah, I just really love that name. And Sage is actually kind of something significant to me. I wanted to add in something to do with tradition and family, and I was trying to figure out how to incorporate different names, and the S stands for Sarah, the A stands for Ava, which is my husband's mother's name, and the G stands for Gay, which was my mum's name. She passed away when I was 8 years old. So, and the E just makes Sage. And obviously she has a last name, but I won't be revealing that. Yeah, so Aria Sage was born on the 21st of May, which was my due date, and at 2:12 p.m. in the afternoon, and she weighed 7 pounds 13 ounces, so 3,550 grams, for all those Aussies and other people that go by grams. And I got my VBAC. Yay! Totally so excited about that, and it was such an amazing experience. So going back though to my 38-week vlog, I don't even remember what I said in that, but pretty much between then and giving birth, I had dilated to almost 3 centimeters. My cervix was really soft, and my obstetrician booked me, put this down so you can see her a little bit, booked me in for an induction. You can't really get induced, well apparently not, or I didn't think so, if you had a cesarean before, because it can increase your risk of uterine rupture. So he just said, because everything else is favourable, I'll break your waters if you haven't gone in by your due date. So I called up the private hospital where I was at and booked me in. And I had the choice, or not the choice, he was originally going to book me on the 22nd of May, which would have made her a Gemini, I think. And it's an even number, which I have this thing with odd and even numbers. It's totally stupid. But then he goes on the phone, oh no, put her in on the 21st, and so I was on the cusp of a Taurus and Gemini. I'm not really into star signs anyway, but I just thought it was funny. And it was an odd number, and I was like, oh, but I might not go, like, last till then anyway. So anyway, leading up to that, the week leading up to it, I was getting a lot of Braxton Hicks contractions, to the point where they were almost 7 to 10 minutes apart and lasting for a few hours, and they were getting intense, and it was more so when I was bouncing on my ball or doing exercise, and or just walking around or just sitting down. And the night before I was getting induced, actually, I was like, oh my god, like, I think I'm going to go in tonight naturally, because they were starting to get quite intense and a little bit more regular. And my dad ended up flying up a few days before, and then he stayed with us the night before, because then he took my son to daycare the next day, which kind of worked out awesome, because he was in daycare all the day that I was at hospital. So I didn't really get much sleep that night, obviously. I think I only got a few hours sleep, and it was such a weird feeling. Like, everyone who's been booked in for an induction or booked in for a C-section know that it's such a weird feeling, knowing that the next day your daughter or son is going to be here. And it was just such a cool feeling, and also weird too, because I'm like, I said to Wade, you know, I could die tomorrow. Like, obviously it's not something to think about, but then I was thinking, you know, it could happen. But anyway, and he was like a little bit anxious as well, and excited, and it was kind of a cool experience, knowing that I've gone through just spontaneously getting contractions, to then knowing that the next day I'm going to have a baby. So anyways, the next day the obstetrician wanted me up at the hospital for a 6 a.m. induction, so it was quite early. And so, as I said, my dad was there to look after my son. And then doctor came in about 6:30, broke my waters, and he pretty much had this, like, it was like a condom looking thing, and he put it on his finger, and it has like a little prick at the end of it. And it's not like the American or the UK people where they stick like a thing up your hoo-ha. It's actually like this little prick, and he pricked it. And yeah, all the water came out, and then after, the water just kept kind of coming out when I was walking around, so I just had to wear a pad. And then I was getting a couple contractions here and there, and there was a changeover of midwives, and then this other midwife, Bernie, she was amazing. She's pretty much said to me that, you know, like, I really like, you know, Mum to be stress-free and use all the energy, you know, through the breathing and just relaxing the shoulders. She kept going like this. She relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the eyes. She was just really calm, which made me calm. And then Wade ended up, like, when he was like helping me through the contractions, like, relax. And Noah just kept laughing, even though the contractions were hurting. So that was kind of funny. Brought a bit of humour to it. But then I kind of kept laughing with her, and she's like, no, be silly. So anyway, yes, so I only had a couple contractions here and there after he broke my waters, and then the lady ended up having, the midwife before my actual midwife, she had the gel out, and I'm like, no, I don't think I could have the gel. And she's like, oh, that's right, you're the VBAC. I'm like, yep. So, and she's like, oh, well, we'll just check with the doctor anyway. So, checked with him, he didn't want the gel, because he said once the gel's up there, then, you know, you can't scoop back out, or, you know, if obviously you're having a hard time with your uterus scar, because obviously having a C-section, it can increase your chance of uterine rupture. So then he said, just to get the contractions starting along, he said by 9 o'clock I want her to have a Syntocin, which is like a synthetic, it's like a drug to start your contractions up. I didn't think I could have that, but I trusted in him that he thought that, you know, obviously everything else was in my favour to have this, and with a couple of contractions I was having, it wasn't hurting around my uterine scar, and they said as soon as that does happen, then we'll reassess and take down the dose or put you off it. So we were still on course for my VBAC. Then, and then about 9:30, after they gave me the Syntocin with the drip and the needle, that thing in your hand bloody hurts. Just saying. My contractions started coming, and by 10 o'clock they started coming. Then by 10:30 I had to have the gas, because they were lasting about 30 seconds. So then she just wanted them to last a little bit longer. So then they started lasting a little bit longer. Ended up having the gas, and they were quite tolerable. Like, I just had to stop and breathe and relax, and my husband was there, and he was being so supportive and just amazing, obviously, as all partners usually are. And by 11:15, they were that intense that I had to, she's like, okay, why don't you, I suggest you walk around a little bit just to, you know, let gravity take hold, and then we'll go into the shower. You can hover over the ball, and Wade can hold the hot water over your back, and that really, like, it's amazing. If you have any, like, techniques of what you want to do to give birth, then I suggest do that. It relieves just a bit of the pain, obviously, the edge. But then I wanted to go back to the gas, so then getting up was, and obviously I was wet, and I had to get back into bed, and I was still, like, I still had the stand thing with the Syntocin, like the drip for me, so I couldn't get rid of that. So my clothes had to, like, get pulled along to the cord. So I was pretty much naked, but I just had a towel around me. So at the beginning of the day, I was a bit like, oh, you know, sorry if you see my little bits down there. By the end of it, I was just like, yeah, whatever. Let it all out. I was in, you know, obviously a bit of pain. So, and I said to her, I want you to check me. And, you know, the midwives, for some reason, a little bit hesitant to always check. And by this stage, it was a good 4 hours, because they should check you every 4 hours for dilation. And it was good 4 hours since he had checked me, which I was already only about 3 centimeters. So I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So I hadn't really progressed in the week, but yeah, to get to 3 centimeters was amazing for me because I only got to 3 centimeters with my son. I'm going to make this in a 2-part video. Hang around for my second part to get to the nitty gritty bits.